it's Delusional-Lobo here. Hope you guys are doing swell today. For today's video, we have another episode with learning with Delusion. Now, for one, I'm gonna do things a little bit differently in this video, since I usually don't commentate either between the moments of the game where I will showcase what I could have done better, what I could have done to punish some certain moves, or even explain that what the opponent could have done better to then punish me accordingly, right? So let's start. Here is that I go for a jab into down back 2. This is actually minus 13, but he ended up blocking it and going for a wall stunning 1. Now, wall stunning 1 is 14 frames on startup, so if it was a minus 14 move, he could have punished me, but he guessed incorrectly. Here I was attempting to go for a side step 2 to go for a big launch punish, but I misinputted and got a jump instead. That's what happened. And in this case here, I wasn't really sure what he was trying to do right afterwards, so I thought that he might go for a CD1 to try to flip me over off of the ground, but he went for a hell sweep. If you were going to go for a hell sweep and you knew that, simply just going for a stand up down back would have worked and then blocked the move for a punish. This case, I just decided, okay, let me just go for a back roll to try to get back up and then create some space. But he went for a heat burst. In fact, you can actually get away from this if you're trying to get back up. The way you should have got up in this case was to stand up by pressing up on the D-pad. As you see, if I do that, I can actually then block the incoming heat burst. What I done there essentially is that I was hoping that he might go for a low right afterwards to see if he will try to high crush me. But if he were to do that, I can go for my up forward 4 and then essentially low crush his down 2. But he didn't do that. Here I was hard reading whether or not he might go for a high of some kind, and he did. He went for an electric. So then I can then punish him with the wall sending 2. This combo could have been better. I didn't optimize it correctly. If I did this instead, now it won't exactly happen the way that you saw in the replay, but if you go for back forward into 2-1 and then go for another back forward into 2-1 down 2, as you're timing it correctly, when they're slumping down, then you can then flip them over and get Oki. This complete setup does work, so you can go for fly into 3 into back 4. In this case, I'm having my own moment where I'm thinking to myself that the move that he used was launch punishable, but it's not. The move is only minus 14, so what I could have done here was either 1, do a wall standing 1-1, or have gone for a wall standing 4-4. So he's now spamming down 2 to catch me off guard, since I'm not really blocking his lows off often in the game. Trying to go for an electric and I messed up. I went for 1-1-2, but that move that he used, Can is actually launch punishable. You can go for your own Can down 3+4. Something like that, but you get the point. You can launch him with down 3+4. And here you're seeing me fail to do Weibo dash with Delusion. I'm not really good at doing it, and especially when it's cold right now, my hands get clammy and it gets too cold to the point that it dries off, the sweat, and then I can't do the Weibo dash.
Round 3. Fight.
In this case, I thought that maybe I can go for a float with a standing one. It does work, but I was just too slow. But if you want to go for an optimized combo route, you can go for this. As long as you don't mess up that last part. And this is where my brain is turning off and on. I'm not sure what to do here. I know that I could go for back four. That's what in my head, I'm thinking to myself, let me just do back four, but I'm just too scared that he might just go for a toe kick or a spring kick or whatever the case he might end up doing there. And my brain just turned off at that point, and I didn't go for back four when I could have. And instead I went for down 1+2 instead. I don't know why I thought that was a good idea. You saw there that I ended up doing a flash duck. I was flash ducking back and forth to see if maybe he's going to go for a low. And he did, but by the time that I stood right back up, I couldn't then crouch block. I don't know why he was doing that. I think if he were instead a little closer, maybe he would have landed that. Here, I'm trying to steal my turn. I'm basically mashing here. You don't do that if you know that your moves are being blocked. Because if it gets blocked, that's not your turn at that point. You have to then give the turn back to the opponent. See, here, I'm -3. So, if I'm going to go for anything else, in this case, what I went for there was my heat smash. And it doesn't show exactly how many frames the heat smash is, but it's not going to connect. He will be the first one to be able to then hit me right afterwards. Again, using back four would have been the better choice, not trying to go for something fancy like down 1+2. Here, I'm not even sure why my heat smash managed to hit, but see, that's the thing about Tekken 8. The janky tracking is egregious for what it is. And I don't know how he didn't just duck that. So yeah, that's about it. I just want to showcase exactly what I have done wrong in that matchup. It's basically against the Delusion. Against Jin. God, English. One thing's for sure, I need to stop doing side step 2. I need to try to get better with my waifu dashes. I know it's very difficult to pull off. I have a very hard time doing it. I feel like doing it with the keyboard or doing it with a leverless would be a lot easier to perform a waifu dash, but one thing's for sure, I have trouble playing the game on the controller during this cold weather. Because my hands get clammy and the sweat dries up, and then I can't move my thumb accurately on the stupid D-pad, so that's gonna happen often. And then the electrics, I'm getting better at that at least, but point is, Devil Jin is hard to pilot. Mishimas in general are hard to pilot, but unless you're playing Jin, then really you have a lot of means to, you know, get away with not having to do waifu dashes or even electrics, because you got a lot of good moves, you got a lot of good tools. Not that Devil Jin doesn't have any good tools, but he has a lot of inconsistencies with his combos and stuff like that. But the point is, I'm digressing, you will need to really be on point with Devil Jin's tools. Like, you really have to play more small Tekken with him instead of having to go for big Tekken, because that's what I'm failing to incorporate. I need to do more small Tekken, not too much big Tekken. So yeah, that's about all. If you guys enjoyed the video, I hope you guys learned something with the matchups that I presented in this video. And yeah, subscribe, stay safe, stay tuned, all that shit. Bye-bye.
Salute to all my fallen soldiers. I reminisce of a time gone.